Spoilers. 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 I like that word.
I thought you might.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Fan Theories. The idea of the Doctor being half human is a hotly debated point. Originally mentioned in the 1996 TV movie, fans have debated whether this is true or not, with many allusions and retcons being given to it over the years. However, most recently, the comic series The Forgotten has the Eighth Doctor explicitly stating that he used a half-broken chameleon arch to make himself human in order to trick the Master. Which all seems well and good, until you realise, when exactly was he supposed to have done this? There wasn't really any time in the TV movie he could have done this, and more importantly, it raises some far more interesting questions. In what way was he trying to trick the Master? We know for a fact that the Doctor and the Master grew up as best friends together on Gallifrey and even attended the Academy together. So how is the Master only just learning that his best friend is half human? If the Doctor is half human on his mother's side, as he claims, then this suggests that his mother was a human, but she's not. She's a time lady, we know that, but not in the way you may think. Well, taking all of this into account and making a few logical leaps of my own, I have managed to bring this all together into a fan theory which proves, once and for all, that the Doctor is certainly all Time Lord. Strap yourselves in. This is going to get complicated. So let's start at the beginning with the Doctor's mother. As previously stated, the fact that he says he's half human on his mother's side suggests that his mother was human whilst his father was a Gallifreyan and or a Time Lord. The original idea from this came from what would have been a follow-up series to the 1996 television movie, in which it would have been revealed that the Doctor's mother was a human time traveller, which was also later expanded on and hinted at in the expanded media novels, Alien Bodies, The Infinity Doctors, Grim Reality, Unnatural History, The Gallifrey Chronicles, and The Shadows of Avalon. With the last of these novels, along with the short story Bafflement and Devotion, having the Eighth Doctor state that he is not entirely sure how he came into being, either through biological parents or by a loom. However, many fans believe that the woman seen in The End of Time is his mother, and off-screen Russell T Davies has confirmed that the character was written this way. However, more recently the comic The Comfort of the Good has shown a monster taking on the appearance of the Doctor's mother, and she appears in full Time Lord garb. Whilst it could be debated that she is simply a human wearing Time Lord robes, it is more likely and reasonable to suggest that this means that the Doctor's mother was in fact a Gallifreyan, possibly even a Time Lord herself, with the Doctor being described as a high-born Gallifreyan. So when you add up the majority of that evidence, the idea of the Doctor being half-human on his mother's side seems very unlikely. So for the purposes of this theory, let's consider that idea null and void, and by logical extension, this means that the Doctor is in fact a full Time Lord. Now at this point we could end the video here, but let's delve a little deeper into some more of those unanswered questions. As previously mentioned in the comic The Forgotten, the Eighth Doctor mentions making himself half-human with the use of a broken chameleon arch. So when exactly was this supposed to have happened? Well, I think it happened before the events of the TV movie, when he was still the Seventh Doctor. As the Eighth Doctor later told Grace, if he looked into the Eye of Harmony, his soul would be destroyed and it would leave the Master free to take over his body. So knowing that even under lock and key, he couldn't trust the Master, and that any bodies the Master took over wouldn't retain their human eyes, and coupling that with the fact that the chameleon arch was half broken and the Doctor knew that it wouldn't turn him into a full human, or possibly he programmed it to do so, he made himself half human, or more specifically gave himself a human eye, or eyes, to act as a key to the Eye of Harmony, thus restricting the Master's ability to take over his body and or open the Eye of Harmony should he escape. This way, as the only human eye in the TARDIS, at least before all hell broke loose, the Doctor ensured that he was the only one who could open and close the Eye of Harmony. And using his new eyes as a key, he linked himself to the Eye of Harmony, and along with his symbiotic nuclei linking him to the TARDIS, this accounts for how the TARDIS knew what the new incarnation of the Doctor looked like before he had entered the TARDIS in that body. During the final confrontation between the Doctor and the Master, the energy released by the Eye of Harmony is very similar, if not identical, to that which took over his body during his regeneration. So in this part of my theory, after his death, due to the anesthesia nearly destroying his ability to regenerate, the TARDIS, through its link with him in the Eye of Harmony, reached out and gave him a little push into helping his regeneration into a new body. However, in order to preserve his original plan, The TARDIS ensured that his eye structure remained human. So when the Master is surprised at the Doctor being half human, it's not surprise of that fact which he knows is not true.
The Doctor is half human.
It's his exclamation of understanding of the Doctor's original plan, and that a human eye is the key needed to open the Eye of Harmony. As for the Doctor's admittance of being half human on his mother's side, I simply put this down to a joke on his part, similar to how people often say, I'm part this or part that in their family history. Perhaps taken from this incarnation's particular fascination with humans and their patterns.
I love humans. All of us seeing patterns in things that aren't there.
Of course, after the events of the TV movie are over, at some point the Eighth Doctor turns himself back into a full Time Lord. However, he decides to keep the half-human element as a bit of a running joke throughout and after his life, accounting for its reoccurrence and reference at times. And while that brings to a close the end of this fan theory, I would just like to very quickly say, as I mentioned them earlier, if you're interested in my thoughts of the origins of the Doctor and how looms are involved, please go back through my fan theories playlist and check out my trilogy of fan theories videos on this very subject. But that does bring to a close another fan theories. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. I'm doing my very first figure animation and you can get involved. There's exclusive content and rewards for those who do so, and funding my Patreon in any way gets your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.